So I've always loved school supplies. I literally have to stop myself from buying school supplies every year out of nostalgia. True story. This one particular day when I was starting school, my parents did not communicate properly because both went out and bought me a boatload of school supplies in preparation for my first day of kindergarten. I still remember them looking at one another in utter disbelief and me feeling the overwhelming joy of having all of these supplies before me. Big, thick pencils, glue, construction paper, scissors, and my favorite, crayons. I love crayons. There's nothing like opening a box of 64 Crayola crayons. None of them used, broken, or worn down yet. All of them fresh. I love crayons. See, when I was younger, I loved art, still do, and I love coloring. But like most things, crayons have a history, unfortunately. See, back in the day, Crayola had this one particular crayon that was called Flesh. A particular woman by the name of June Handler made it her mission to get that name of that crayon changed. Flesh. Why? Because she found out that in her doctoral research, Caucasian children were taunting Black children, these were just 5-year-olds, about the name of that crayon, Flesh. They were saying, "You don't have flesh." Now we know that some children can be cruel, and that this did happen during the civil rights movement. However, isn't it interesting how a small crayon named a certain way can have so much power? Thankfully, in 1962, Crayola made the good decision, seeing that the world was changing, and renamed that crayon to Peach. Now, I knew nothing about this at the tender age of 5 as I lay on the ground coloring. I just knew I loved crayons. Thankfully, June Handler knew that with her extensive research, diversity and cultural competency mattered, even among children. So what about us? When we hear the words diversity and cultural competency, we may do an inward groan. I get it. This is an uncomfortable conversation for some, and at times it brings about various emotions with others. This last year and a half or so, and even recently, this week, has been like the song from The Temptations, Ball of Confusion. We've all been a collective captive audience watching on our various screens political and social unrest daily, coupled with having to deal with this ongoing pandemic. We've also heard of companies facing litigation over allegations of not dealing with these diversity and cultural competency issues. And frankly, we have seen a lot of Karen videos. So honestly, I get how now everyone wants to talk about this subject. Frankly, I don't always want to either. Just like a child, I've often wanted to check out, crawl under the covers of my bed, and not have to deal with these various emotions of processing what I'm seeing on my screen. Another video, another video, another video. But those days when I've been courageous and came out from underneath the covers, I've often had impactful dialogue with my patients and my peers. In my opinion, that is what is needed in order for us to deal with this uncomfortable topic. We have to be willing to have this conversation with ourselves as well as with others. So what is diversity and what is cultural competency? It's easy. Diversity is our uniquenesses, our differences, different races, different backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds, political beliefs, religious beliefs, everything. Frankly, even how we wear our hair. And what is cultural competency? It's our ability to interact effectively with one another, how we appreciate those differences, how we view others, the different worldview. And why is this important? You know, as I was preparing for this topic, I heard over and over again from different people that this didn't really matter. Why do we have to discuss this? I don't need this. Frankly, we all do. Because we're all healthcare providers, or we all want to be good people. And regardless if we want to recognize it or not, we all have biases that are in us due to our upbringing, our personal life experiences, or the multimedia that we watch throughout our life. It's our job to do the work to do better. You know, there's an important anonymous quote that I like that says, "If you can't be kind, be silent." Silence is truly needed so that we can listen to one another instead of just hearing our own booming voice. So how do we go about doing this work of learning about one another, about interacting better with one another? We make sure that we take the responsibility upon ourselves. Change has to come within. We can't expect others to do the responsibility of changing for us. Don't put that on me. I have enough triggers. I have enough things I'm watching. What you want to do is make sure you go to cultural festivals, interact with your patients, get to know about others' cultures, their beliefs, their backgrounds, their food preferences. It's not that difficult. We could watch a documentary, read a book, watch a memoir, just get to know one another. Why? Because our patients expect better from us. They want to know that we care, that we see them, that we value them, and we are going to look for them and take the time to get to know what they're going through individually. So, not too long ago, I was walking around Target trying to let Target tell me what I needed to buy. Don't tell my husband. I found myself down that aisle with the school supplies. Much to my delight, I saw boxes of crayons I've never seen before. There was a box of 24 multicultural crayons, set to represent all the colors of us all around the world. Next to it was a box of 24 multicolor markers to do the same. Now, I love markers too. The inner child in me lit up as I looked at this box, recognizing that although we have so much work to do, evidenced by what we see daily on our screens, what can happen when one person speaks up about what they're seeing and makes a change? That's what happened with Crayola. So I look forward to, in the future, coloring in 2 weeks. It'll be a little longer for that, with my little one and whatever color he chooses. So the work is upon us. I encourage you to speak up and care about one another. Thank you.